If you put the ball as far away as the hole as you could possibly get on each green, could you break 72? There's that angle, and the defending champion struggles really badly if you look down the years. It's just surprisingly poor.
The ball stopped on the edge of the hole, didn't it? Yeah. And then and it was the best advert Nike you've ever had.
He told me today that he's backed Rory to win 3 majors this year.
Then Jack Nicholson.
That was brilliant, that one, yeah.
I imagine he probably did play golf, Jack Nicholson.
Film star, no one gives him a hope, wins the match.
Here's Johnny. Jack, did you really think we were going to miss the Masters? Hello, late tea time podders around the world. Very good to see you. We've been away for a little bit, but we are back. Did you really think we were going to miss the Masters? Of course we weren't. We are back looking forward to the 89th Masters tournament, the beautiful Augusta National Golf Course. And it's me, James, and it's him, Dave Tindall. Hello, Dave Tindall. DT, how are you?
I'm very well. I forgot my name.
I have, yeah. It's been so long.
Gap, yes.
And defending champion Scottie Scheffler, he's back to defend his title. Looking for his 3rd crown. I guess when we come to talking about the betting, we'll be talking about whether he can do that. There are a few people that are up against him, but his first duty as a defending champion is to pick the meal that they're going to eat on Tuesday's Champions Dinner. And I'll tell you what, I read the list of stuff he's serving up and I was salivating. It looks absolutely exceptional.
You got it written down.
I'll run through it very quickly. We have got, he's gone for kind of the traditional Texas. He comes from Texas. They're his roots. Appetizers. Cheeseburger sliders served Scottie style. Firecracker, I don't know what that is, but maybe something to do with his accident. Was that?
I hope not.
Yeah. I think there is anyway, firecracker shrimp and Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites, which is a nod to his dad, I think. Yeah. The first course is Texas style chili. Yummy, yummy. And the main course, wood-fired cowboy ribeye steak, blackened redfish with sides of macaroni and cheese, jalapeno creamed corn, soy glazed Brussels sprouts, and chipotle lime roasted sweet potatoes.
Yeah,
that's all right, isn't it?
That's a pretty good one, isn't it? It's I'm sure I saw someone on Twitter put up his menu from 2023. And it was the same, apart from he ditched the soup.
Well,
the soup didn't go down well with.
I missed the dessert.
Warm
chocolate chip skillet cookie with vanilla bean ice cream.
Oh, that's my sort of.
He's basically looking to try and load up all of his competitors. He's not going to eat anything. He's going to be sitting there just eating soya milk or something, whilst the rest of them just gorge and get themselves all fat before Thursday's first balls hit. But
it does sound a nice one. I think there's a story in there. The best one ever was Vijay Singh's when he won.
Right.
I don't really know what it was. But
okay.
I'm sure it seemed to be that hit the mark.
Well, he was champion in 2022 and 2024, Scottie Scheffler. So he will be back. We're going to go through this podcast. We're going to look at all of the best bets, look at a range of bets in the various markets to find the best bets. But Augusta was hit by Hurricane Helene back in September. But they've got the course looking pristine again, which is no surprise because it always looks pristine.
Yeah, there's a few stories that some trees had gone down, and I'm sure they have. I think Rory went there a couple of weeks ago to have a look, and he said, some trees had gone missing. But they've tweeted some Augusta National Twitter site, or X, have put up some pictures of it, how it is now, and wow, does it look good again.
Yeah.
You'd never know there'd been any storm.
It always looks good, doesn't it? And that gets us on to our first talking point. We have talked before, Dave, about the Masters and why it's our favourite major on the. I think when we've spoken before, we've talked about the Open Championship as being a very close run second. And what I like about the Open is that it goes around Britain and you get different courses and different tests for golfers. But equally, the charm of the Masters is it goes back to the iconic Augusta National course and we see the same holes, Amen Corner, all of the drama that brings every year. And it's something to look forward to, isn't it?
Yeah, the familiarity. I don't know. Unless you're a member of a golf course and you play it all the time, I challenge you to know your course better than you know Augusta National. Because I can reel off the holes.
Well, you've been there, haven't you?
Yeah, I was lucky to go 4 times.
2011
2011 to 2014. So I've seen it, and it's incredible. It does. I mean, it looks amazing on telly, but when you go there, it's just.
It's a bit like,
It's astonishing. The slopes and the undulations. It's like you've walked through the TV, and it's sort of this magic land has come to
That's
life.
one thing you don't always get on the telly, is it? The kind of the slopes that you see.
Yeah.
You only get that at certain camera angles, but I agree with you. I mean, playing Tiger Woods golf when I was a kid on the Sega Mega Drive or whatever, the kind of Pebble Beach and the Augusta through the television, you could probably just tee up and you know exactly where you're going. What hole one's going to bring to you, hole 2, etc., all the way around. And obviously, Amen Corner is just legendary. It's absolutely magnificent, isn't it? And just something that as soon as you see it on the calendar and you know it's coming, you're just looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I dug out some pictures I'd taken back like a decade ago now, isn't it? Where I tried to take pictures where it showed sort of what it was like to be there. You don't typically get from the cameras, the official cameras. And yeah, some of just them walking up the first, it's like they're doing that, and you wouldn't know that on the telly.
You don't. You just don't get it.
Yeah.
And one of the things with Augusta that hopefully it comes like this this time, the putts and the fact they can just kind of feather a putt and it goes off the other side of the green. The challenges those greens bring are just amazing, aren't they?
Super fast bent grass greens, scary. I mean, I thought someone on social media say, "What would you?" I think I said, "Could you break 72 if you're just giving putts?" if you put them, it was Nuclear Golf something on X. If you put the ball as far away as the hole as you could possibly get on each green, could you break 72?
Probably not.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably not. It'd be, if it was tournament standard off the pro tees, I don't think how much it would take me to get round. It would be just, you'd probably be well over 200.
Well, you'd do all right off the tee, wouldn't you? Because that's generous off the tee. But then the closer you get to the hole, the bigger trouble.
Well, if you're struggling to break, if you're struggling to break 72 on the greens, and then you add on your other rubbish shots as well, then
maybe though, if you just missed the green, then your next shot would get nearer the hole. But starting so far away from each pin, wow, that'd be difficult.
Something to look forward to. Memorable moments. We've picked our best moments of our watching of the Masters down the years. Let's start with you. What's your favourite moment? What's the thing that if you were to say one memory, what would it be?
Yeah, it's quite a personal one for mine, and rather appropriately, it's about betting.
A big win.
Yeah, you always remember your wins, don't you? But this one was 2004, although the bet I made was actually in 2003. So I backed Phil Mickelson anti-post at 33-1, which it's hard to know now because what price does he go off and you forget how he moves. But back in those days, he was going off at 10-1, 12-1, I think 7-1. And he was 33-1 in October because he just had a bad run of form. I think he might have changed clubs. So he was 33-1. So I can't let that go. And then he found his form earlier in that year. I think he won before the Masters, got maybe a win or two, but just clearly back to form. He probably went off about 7 or 8-1. I had this 33s.
Yeah.
And it was that famous one where he's battling Ernie Els down the stretch. Ernie Els looks to have got him, and it looks like Ernie Els is going to get that first green jacket. Phil has a birdie charge, and then he has that big putt on the last. So the story had been, could Phil Mickelson win a major? And he had all these near misses, and he had this putt, your classic this to win the Masters putt.
Yeah.
And I thought, I really liked him. He was one of my favourite golfers. I had money riding on it. I wanted him to hold the putt. I don't know, it was about 12, 15 feet. And
it curved as well, didn't it?
Set it off. It looks like it's going to miss. It just catches enough of the hole, then it goes, and he does that big star jump.
Yeah.
I was like, and I did one in tandem with him, and it was beautiful moments.
Yeah, I've done a top 10 on Betting Radio's website, one of our sister ventures, and that's in that. Phil Mickelson's.
What number did you make that?
I can't remember what number it was. He was in the top 10 because it is a top 10. But yeah, Phil Mickelson's putt on the 18th was one of them. And my favourite moment is another one that made the top 10. Unsurprisingly, it wasn't number one, but Tiger Woods on the 16th. He'd missed the green to the left. He was in the fringe. He's obviously got that great big swing down the green, and he's eyeing it up, and he's looking 25 yards left because he's kind of, obviously the slope's there, and the commentators in whispering tones are saying he's going to struggle to get this within his opponent's ball and all the rest of it. And Tiger Woods, just being Tiger Woods, cool, calm, collected, just kind of sizes it all up, chips it miles to the left, and then you get that famous Nike logo just rolling down towards the hole, and the commentators go, "Oh wow, oh wow!" And it's just absolutely that. If I was to turn a switch and just think of one moment that just epitomises Masters golf for me, especially obviously in that era when Tiger was just in command of everything, that was just incredible.
Yeah.
And the ball stopped on the edge of the hole, didn't it? And then just, and it was the best advert Nike you've ever had.
It was like, it's been made up, isn't it? It could only happen to Tiger Woods in the Masters, really, but. Yeah, brilliant moment.
Well, I'm sure you got your favourite Masters moments as well. At Late Tea Time Pod on X, let us know what your favourite moment from the Masters is. No surprise, Dave Tindall, the defending champion Scottie Scheffler, goes off as favourite. He's favourite for every single tournament he enters. And he usually does pretty well, doesn't he? He's 9-2 best price, Scottie Scheffler. Rory and McIlroy 13-2. Colin Morikawa, my mate, 16-1 for Colin. Ludvig Åberg is 16s. John Rahm 18s. And then Bryson DeChambeau is 20s, and Xander Schauffele, who's so consistent in the majors, he's 22s. When we're looking for the winner, I can remember talking about this in previous years with you for the Masters. Sometimes you can get big price outsiders and they come flying through. Masters tends to be favourites, or not necessarily the favourites, but kind of people towards the top end of the bookies' picks.
Yeah, you don't get too many sort of kooky winners, do you? It tends to be, that figures. And Scheffler obviously won 2 of the last 3. With Masters history, and there's probably a reason for this, you tend to get a winner, then he has a bad defence, and then he wins again. So that's what happened with Scheffler. It's what's happened with Bubba Watson, 2012. No good 2013. 2014, he won again.
Yeah.
And there's a theory, isn't there, that it's because when they defend, it's all, I've got to prepare the champions' dinner, I've got to do all this.
Don't have to cook it.
Fair enough. They've got to do all this pomp and ceremony. It's just kind of a bit sort of too much.
Yeah.
And it's easier to go in there with not all that hanging over you, not to be the defending champion.
But Scottie's been here before, hasn't he? In terms of going back and defending. He knows maybe a little bit more than last time what he's up against.
He'll know more, but then Mickelson knew more. And
yeah, true.
Knew more, and they still couldn't get it done. Second time. I looked at a history of the Masters. Only Jack Nicklaus has won 3 out of 4 years.
Yeah.
So even Tiger,
he was pretty special.
Good, wasn't he?
Yeah.
There's no little run where Tiger's won 3 of 4.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. But that's what Scheffler needs to do to win.
So on the basis you're saying that, and on the basis that he's only 9-2, which I mean 92 as a winner is a good price, but
he's got to cook all that Texas food.
Yeah. Serve up the shrimps and everything for everybody. Does that open the door then, do you think, for others?
Yeah, there's that angle, isn't there? The defending champion struggles really badly if you look down the years. It's just surprisingly poor. Plus, he's not won this year. That's a big difference. No. That is a big difference. And even for him, it's kind of just plants a little bit of doubt.
Somebody else who's maybe not quite what they have been, Xander Schauffele, because he's come back from an injury. Yeah. He's kind of finding his feet. He's obviously still very good. Yeah. But maybe that counts against him as well. Yeah. That brings somebody else into the conversation, doesn't it? In terms of the person that's, well, one of the people that's between them in the prices. I've been really impressed with Rory McIlroy this season. I heard an interview with him maybe at the end of last year, start of this year, where he was talking about trying to manage his workload, give himself a bit more time off, not tire himself out, not be so intense everywhere he went. And it seems to be working because he's playing bloody good golf, isn't he?
He's got 2 really good wins at Pebble Beach and Sawgrass. And he said at the start of the year, I want to be more like Scottie, play more like Scottie, and just kind of meticulous sort of, not robotic, but just kind of steady.
Yeah.
Cut out the daft stuff. But there's a compromise because Rory likes the flash stuff. So it's hard for him to sort of not be like...
But what he has done, though, when I've been watching him winning, he has been a little bit more sensible.
Yeah, and that's...
Because he's always been high highs and low lows, hasn't he? But he's a bit more equal.
It's not as exciting for him, maybe, but he's realised that, look, if I'm going to start winning majors again, I've got to take this more pragmatic approach.
Do I want to be exciting and flamboyant, or do I actually want trophies?
So, he's been so close to adding a fifth major. It's been 11 years now. And, obviously at the Masters, he's got all this scar tissue that he should have won in 2011, 4 shots clear with a round to play. Then every year, is this going to be Rory's year? Is this going to be Rory's year? And it never is. And he's a very kind of guy who does think a lot, and it gets in his head.
That's one of the things he always has to contend with at every major these days, isn't it? Because he's been without one for over a decade, and it's the question: is this going to be the one asked of him all the time?
And then at the US Open last year, it should have been, and then he messed up at the end.
I think he wins this week.
Well, I was talking to a friend of our podcast, Matt Cooper, who's been on here before. He told me today that he's backed Rory to win 3 majors this year.
I've said to you,
it's 200 to 1.
If he gets one, he gets a few.
Yeah, that's his thinking. And if you look at the courses, he's got Quail Hollow, which is one of his favourites, where he always wins. He's got Royal Portrush, Northern Ireland, where he's from.
Yeah.
The courses sort of suit him.
It'd be a crying shame if he doesn't add to his tally, wouldn't it? Because
Yeah,
he's such a talented bloke.
Yeah, he deserves to, doesn't he?
He's a nice bloke as well. He always comes across really well, doesn't he?
His body of work is just so good that, to be stuck on 4 doesn't seem right.
No, there's definitely a few more to come for Rory, but will it be Augusta? So, colours to the must. Who are you picking?
So if I had to pick one from the top level of players that you've read out there, I would go with Jon Rahm. Again, going back to this idea that
18 to 1.
Yeah, you win it, then you dip, and then you win it again. So Jon Rahm, winner in 2023, he's had his little dip year, now he's back.
Yeah.
And I just think having won there, it puts him just on a different level to people like Morikawa, to Scheffler, to Justin Thomas. He knows he can win there. I think it's such a mystique-y sort of special place that once you've won there, you kind of remove some of that. Where if you haven't, it just seems this kind of like Everest. Are you ever going to climb it?
You either come in as a youngster, like Ludvig Åberg did last year.
So ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, no fear kind of thing, because you've never been scarred there. And he just played brilliantly, didn't he, last year, and was maybe unfortunate not to get closer to the trophy. But you either come in like that, or you come in knowing you can do it there.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few in the middle that have never done it and probably have a lot of doubt.
And every year that goes past, I think Rahm won it on his 7th attempt, and you think, well, you wouldn't have wanted to go too many more before he starts thinking, am I ever going to win here? But 7's fine, and I think now he can win again.
Jon Rahm for you, Rory McIlroy for me. Right, we've done the winner. Who is going to be leading, though, after 18 holes? Didn't necessarily have to be anywhere near the winner's podium come the end of the Masters. But who is there out there, DT, that maybe you just maybe fancy to have a good start?
Yeah, you look at the history books and you do get repeat performers in this market. So Justin Rose has been the first round leader 4 times, which is pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth 3 times.
Wow.
So... again, there's a few guys in the field who, and Rory's one of them, Justin Thomas might be another one, who put so much pressure on themselves to get off to a fast start. They can't relax in that first round. And they'll have a good Friday, maybe Saturday or Sunday. But Rose and Spieth, they can just go there, hit the ground running. They know they've started fast before. And to do it 3 and 4 times, pretty special. So why not again?
One of the beauties of a major is we get to see a few of these golfers that have just cleared off to LIV, and they come back again, even if it is just for 4 days. Bryson DeChambeau, somebody that I was a bit kind of about for a while, seen a lot of his social media stuff, seen a lot of him at recent majors, and he's a breath of fresh air. He's a terrific golfer and seemingly a really nice bloke as well. And we see him, Jon Rahm, and a few others coming back onto our screens. There is a market for the top LIV golfer. as we see them playing at Augusta National. John Rahm is the favourite in that market, 7-2. Bryson is 4-1. You've got Joaquin Niemann 5-1. Brooks Koepka 6s. Tyrrell Hatton 15-2. Cam Smith 10-1. Sergio Garcia 14s, and the rest are bigger. On the basis you've already given me the winner as being John Rahm, I guess you're going to say that the 7-2 on John Rahm is probably worth taking. But is there anybody there that could maybe contend with him?
There's quite a few names there.
I mean, Bryson's...
Yeah, Bryson, has, played, I think, his best year last year.
Have you seen him on socials hitting the ball over his house?
Yeah.
And he's been playing golf courses blind, just like club golf courses, to see if he can get the course record at the first attempt. And he either does or gets very close to it. Yeah. He's a tremendous golfer.
So, I mean, he's won the US Open last year. He's got 2 majors under his belt. You tend to see major winners sort of cluster them with their wins. So why not him? Koepka, got a great record. You always think he's just sort of... He's pounced when it comes to the majors.
He's a little bit broody, isn't he, Brooks? Yeah. He's always kind of feels like he's got a point to prove.
Yeah. Which is good. That fuels him, chip on the shoulder type stuff. You've had Mickelson do really well 2023. I don't know if you read the one out that I quite like.
Who's that?
Patrick Reed.
Patrick Reed is 14-1 in this market.
Yeah. I think he's got a really... He's obviously he's won it before, the Masters. He's been playing well lately, and he's got a really good Augusta record. It wasn't just 1 year where he showed up and had a freaky good year. He's always played well there.
Yeah.
So I think he might be a bit of value. Well, there's a few there. There's Tyrrell Hatton that gets in his head.
There's a major in him, though, isn't there, at some stage?
I think, but I don't think it's this one.
Yeah.
He's talked himself
There's
out
too many frustrations around Augusta as well, aren't there?
And then Neiman is a fascinating one. Great on LIV, but he's just done nothing in the majors.
Yeah.
So I would say Patrick Reed as an each-way bet.
And if you have taken John Rahm as you have to win, that gives you, not cover really, but it gives you another thing to look at, doesn't it, by taking one of the others. If John Rahm falls away, you've got somebody else fighting for you. Yeah. Patrick Reed, Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm. We've talked about maybe the winner coming from the top end of the bookies' assessment in terms of prices. But it's always fun at least, isn't it? And you should always gamble responsibly and gamble for fun. To take a little bit of a bigger price, even if it's not to win each way, and top 5, top 10s, top 20s and what have you. Who down the list maybe catches your eye and sparks your fancy?
I would always look at the players who actually won there because they know what to do. It's so psychological, I think, Augusta. So I would look at Patrick Reed. He's a former winner there, playing well of late. Always seems to do well in the majors, especially this one. So I think he's a big price, Patrick Reed. So he's an interesting one for me. I think he's a bit out of sight, out of mind in terms of the bookies because we don't see him every week unless you watch LIV. But he's such a gutsy performer. And he's not as old as you think. He seems to be around for ages, but I think he could go well.
He looks middle-aged, though, doesn't he?
He's got that.
If you watch him, Patrick, no offence, but he does look a bit older than the others.
He's got that sort of dainty, a bit Oliver Hardy-esque.
I wasn't going to be that rude to you, Patrick.
Not necessarily the size of just sort of he's got quite sort of dainty little movements. But
another fine mess you got him into. Yes,
that's the other one.
Yeah. Patrick Reed, 80-1 to win.
By the way, there's a Laurel and Hardy Museum in Augusta.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, so if you're watching from Augusta,
I went there, didn't I, on the way home one year, and it was closed.
There you go. There is another fine mess you got yourself into.
Yeah. Oliver Hardy was from Augusta or Georgia.
Yeah. Well, Stan Laurel was English, wasn't he?
Stan Laurel was from Ulverston. So I've been to, and there's a museum for both, so I've been to both, even though I didn't get inside one of them.
Yeah. Patrick Reed, 80-1.
Yes.
Enough of Dave Tindall's travel show.
Yes.
And top 10 is 11-2.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. Man that I was in my sort of eye line, I've watched Full Swing, and Sahith Theegala has been on a few of the seasons of Full Swing now. Always comes across as really well. Such a talented player as well. He may fall flat on his face, but if he gets into the groove and he's a player that seems to, if he gets the mojo going, he looks like he can, gets the bit between his teeth. He can then do things. And I think he's a player that gets inspired by the crowd. Yeah. He's a kind of a big game player. Some players shrink when the pressure's on. He seems to be somebody that puffs his chest out and really likes it. and kind of almost thinks I'm born to do this. This is what I've been kind of training for. This is what I've been practicing for, to be on this kind of stage. And that's a major feather in your cap, isn't it? The psyche. So I think Sahith Theegala, 13-2, top 10, Sahith.
Yeah. The other thing with him is I think he sees sort of golf a bit more kind of in curves and bends. Some golfers just sort of go straight down the middle. He sees the lines, and he quite prefers it if he can sort of bend the shot in and use the slopes.
He's good around the greens as well, and that's a big thing at Augusta, isn't it? To be able to kind of maybe tidy up a little bit if you've made a mess.
Yeah. So I don't think his form this year is great, but as you say, he's like more of an inspirational character who might just find something.
I think people like him, form is maybe less relevant because they can just
a bunch of top tens.
A switch flicks and you're away. And I think that could be him. So maybe slightly more risky, but he's somebody that I'll have a little bit of money on anyway. Something slightly different today. It's going to be James Buttler against Dave Tindall. We're going to have a bit of a go against each other during the Masters. And we've going to play fanteam.com, and it's fantasy golf, really. You pick 6 players. They've all got different values. So obviously, Xander Schauffele, Scottie Scheffler, Rory are far more expensive than some of the lesser-known players. You get a budget, you pick your 6, and you then get some points as you go through the 4 days, and hopefully you end up top of the pile and win some money. So we've both picked our 6. You've gone a bit quirky on me. I've picked the 6 that I wanted to pick, obviously, the main players, but you can't do that because you have a budget. You have to stick to your budget. So I have gone with an assortment of players here, but you've gone with former winners, haven't you?
I've done a kind of experimental sort of team where I thought I'll go with a theme of former winners, not just to be kind of quirky, but I honestly think all of them have got a chance of doing so.
When you first told me you've done this, I thought, it's just a cop-out. But then I looked at your team and I thought, actually, that's not bad.
So my team, the one I've put most money is John Rahm. So he's 20.8 million on fan team.
Yeah.
You've got 100 million. So remember 6 players. So that's above, he's one of your high-end picks. Then I've gone with Hideki Matsuyama, another winner. Oh, these are all winners, of course.
One of the famous moments that didn't make my top 10 was his caddy bowing to the course, which was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant moment.
So 19 million on Matsuyama. Then I've gone 18 million Jordan Spieth. Mm-hmm. Again, former winner. All these are. But again, someone who's, still a big challenger there.
Yeah,
so,
as this is a team of former winners, you don't really need to say they're a former winner every time.
Yeah. Next one is a former winner, funnily enough.
Oh, really?
But so I've splurged a bit of budget on those 3.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'd done Scottie Scheffler, then that would have really troubled me.
I don't think Scottie Scheffler's... He's almost unpickable because he's too expensive.
Well, it doesn't leave you much room to manoeuvre. Rahm,
and you need all 6 to perform for you, don't you?
Yeah. So they're my big 3. Rahm, Matsuyama, Spieth. Then I've had to sort of balance the books with some cheaper options, but I think they are good cheaper options. So Patrick Reed, 14.6 million. I think he'll go well. Sergio Garcia, who has been pretty lousy in the majors since he won the Masters, but he was 12th in the US Open last year, so maybe he's turned the corner, playing well on LIV, 14.2 million. And then, very pleasingly, I had £13.4 million left, and Phil Mickelson cost 13.4 million.
How convenient.
Yeah, so that's your full 100, exactly on 100 million. And Mickelson, with the fan team game, your lowest price player, it's the underdog. You get a little UD symbol next to that. So he scores times 1.25 points. So you've got to get a good underdog. He could make the difference between you winning.
And who's your captain?
So my captain will be Rahm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Rahm
and he gets 1.25 as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So your captain and your underdog both score, relatively higher than the other one. So if Mickelson's my worst player, I'm happy with that.
Okay. As I say, I kind of thought, and then
gimmicky.
And then I looked at it and I thought, I'm a bit fearful. Anyway, John, my team.
Go on.
Yeah. I've got my captain is Rory. I think Rory wins. Rory wins for me. So he had to go in. I had to avoid Scottie Scheffler because he was just too expensive to actually get anybody that I'd heard of, really, further down the list. Xander Schauffele is in there. I know he's come back from injury, but he's pretty dependable to carry your bag around for you, isn't he? Sahith Theegala, as I mentioned earlier on in the podcast, I think he's going to have a good Masters as well. And then the three maybe outsiders who are good outsiders are Tom Kim, Sam Burns, and Max Homer, who did well last year at the Masters as well.
But now can't hit a golf shot anymore.
He will be revitalised after he watches this podcast and realise that I've put my trust in you, Max.
That's your theory.
Yep. So sort yourself out, get out there, hit the ball straight, and do well for me.
Yeah, so that's your 6.
So I've put them on the screen so that everybody out there can see it. And well, if you join us, then hopefully you don't win, because I want to win.
Well, you'll have a unique team. I don't think anyone else will have your team, which is good in fantasy. That is good, obviously.
Absolutely. I mean, the perfect way to play it is to just pick a load of really cheap ones that you know are going to do really well, who end up doing really well. But that's easier said than done, isn't it?
That you know we're going to play. How do you know that?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, fanteam.com if you want to join us. We are this week recording a little bit earlier than we would do. Late Tea Time podcast. The old MO of the podcast usually is that we come later in the week, just as close as we can to the first tee shot being hit, so we can get the latest prices, rumours, and gossip from around the course. But because it's the Masters, and because we wanted to come. We wanted to come early to give this podcast a chance to breathe and actually get out there and for you to see it. So can you please subscribe, share it, leave a nice comment if you can. That helps with the YouTube channel. It helps with everything, really. So if you do like this podcast, if you could subscribe and share, that would be fantastic. And one of the things that does mean is some of the later markets that come up ahead of big events like this, we haven't got access to them just yet because they haven't been announced. But there are a few specials out there already. And I know one strikes your fancy.
Yeah, I always like to play the hole-in-one market. And
go, yes.
There will be a hole-in-one.
Yeah.
I just think it's a market that's just fun, isn't it? Especially on the Sunday when you've got that flag on 16 and there's bowl on the bottom.
Hit it out to the right and it rolls down.
And so many at least give you a run, don't they?
Yeah.
Will it go in? And you do get them. They do go in. So, I think it's a great way to play the Masters because you're probably not going to get it the first 3 days. You might if you get lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, the fourth hole is a very tough long par 3. The sixth, the downhill. You might get the odd one, but it's tricky. 12, Golden Bell, the kind of one over the water. It's short, but it's still hard. But 16, certainly on a couple of the days, especially the final day, I think you've got a great chance. It's like a sort of fun way to end the Masters. Maybe your player's out of contention by then, but if you've got this hole-in-one bet, you've got it right up to the end, and often it lands.
I like that, and as you say, on that final day, that 16th, often comes early in the day, doesn't it? Somebody that's miles back suddenly hits a dream shot and it just rolls in. But the hole-in-one market is there for you all the way through. As I say, keep an eye out as we go through the rest of this week because there will be loads of offers around the Masters. Keep an eye out on all of the different bookies and what have you because they'll have offers on how many places you can get for each way. There'll be special markets all over the place. So, have a look around and maybe you can feed some of our picks into those selections as you go through the week. Shall I just, before we go, just give you the full rundown of the 10 moments that I selected for the Masters? I did
reverse.
I kind of did put them in reverse order, but didn't number them.
Okay.
Because I thought that because it's hard to actually order them. But Seve's triumphs 1980 when he kind of burst onto the scene. Seve's just a genius and was fantastic to watch. And I was only quite young at the time, and he left a big impression. He came to my golf club just over the hedge. Is a golf club from where my mum and dad live, and I watched him through my binoculars because I was too young to go and see him as he was hitting the ball off the first tee off his knees and stuff. Tiger Woods chip in, as I mentioned earlier, my favourite moment in 2005. Gene Sarazen's Shot Heard Around the World. Now, I wasn't able to watch that because it was long before my time, 1935.
Heard around the world, not seen around the world.
No. It's kind of lots of black and white pictures, but obviously the first double eagle in a tournament, which saw him race through to win. Ben Crenshaw's emotional win in 1995, which pulled at the heartstrings.
Yeah, I do remember that one. I remember watching that one. Harvey Pennick was his was his mentor and coach, wasn't he? Yeah.
Larry Mize,
the
playoff, the miracle chip when he looked out of the playoff and he chipped it in.
Just a little jog.
140-foot chip in and sealed victory for him because his opponent that day missed. His opponent was Greg Norman, was it?
Probably, yeah, I think so. Greg Norman had so many kind of...
Yeah, the playoff was Ballesteros, Norman and Mize. Yeah. And Ballesteros went early and then Mize's chip put pay to Greg Norman. Tiger Woods' comeback in 2019 when he came back and from nowhere and everybody was rooting for him and he won in 2019. Bubba Watson's shot out of the trees where he hooked it around onto the green and went on to win in 2012. Phil Mickelson's leap of joy. Your moment, 33-1 shot that landed Dave the bet. Tiger Woods' dominant performance in 1997 when he won by 12 shots. And then Jack Nicholson.
That was brilliant, that one, yeah.
He's I imagine he probably did play golf, Jack Nicholson.
Film star, no one gives him a hope, wins the match.
Here's Johnny. Jack Nicholson's miracle win in 1986 when he was 46 years old and stormed the back nine to win.
The best moment of that is the commentary when he holds his putt on 17, he lifts his and they go, "Yes, sir." That's a great, iconic bit of commentary.
And commentators do make a big difference to your viewing pleasure, don't they? And there will be some great voices around the Masters. DT, as always, thank you very much for joining me.
Cheers, James.
And out there, everybody, please gamble responsibly. Make sure you enjoy the Masters. I mean, how can you not? It's a fantastic tournament. I'm sure you'll all be glued as you go through. Good luck with all your bets, and you don't have to pay any attention to us whatsoever. Make your own picks and go your own way if you want to, but good luck however you play it. As I said before, please like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you again soon on the Late Tea Time podcast. Cheers all.